How long have I been muted? Feels bad. Anywho, we still have a race. As Slimo continues down to Zone 4 of Core Rift with the Crown of Thorns. You should be... yeah, it wasn't. I'm sorry. If you see the dot lighting up and you aren't hearing anything, that means something is up, Kappa. But Slimo, moving on to Zone 5. As I was saying earlier, when my microphone was muted. That Slimo is someone who can't really play safe, it seems. They just don't know how to, because this is very much playing scared instead of playing safe, which there's a difference. Both are slow, but there's a huge difference between playing scared and playing safe. I do not believe Slimo has an Aria clear, even. Actually, he probably does. But I can check that. Yeah, 1342. Never mind. Things changed. This is not news to me. I don't know. I was muted for a long time, wasn't I? Well then. Well, let's just continue on then. There's a tier 3 cracked wall on Slimo's end. Needs to be wary of this devil of it. Handles it fine, it is never the food shop. Zone 5 has definitely a lot of chances to heal. Ocre on the run back though. Definitely someone who is able to come back from late deaths. But of course, Ocre is significantly more dangerous without those late deaths. Slimo putting on the pressure, being able to eke out a death from Ocre, as Ocre goes down once more. Leaving more than enough space for Slimo to take this. Slimo, still playing scared. You need to play confidently. Playing scared is not playing safe. Just because both are slow, doesn't mean both have the same results. You need to be confident when playing safe, I think. There's definitely a place to be scared and safe, but that's also a thing, but right now, this lack of confidence on Slimo's end, I don't like seeing it. And a good harp activation for Slimo there. As Slimo is able to pick up an additional charm, having an absolute buffet of charms around his neck. On to the second phase of the Necrodancer. Slimo has this in his hands right now. Just needs to hold on and finish off this fight. Bit of a swarm here on the Necrodancer fight. You definitely don't want that to happen, but Frost Charm activating, allowing the swarm to be left behind, and there we go. Slimo will take a point off of Ocre here. Ocre suffering late deaths, trying to come back from it and not being able to. But as I said, Slimo's slow play can do with so much work. Slimo not someone who knows how to slow play, it seems. There's a difference between scared playing and slow playing, and we are seeing scared playing right now. Though scared playing is slow, it's not necessarily slow play. If that makes any sense. As we prepare to go on to the next seed, I hope I do not accidentally mute myself again. Scared play procedures. However, I do respect slowing down, because Slimo used to be someone who didn't slow down. Not this much, not to this extent. But who knows, maybe slowing down this much could bite them in the butt. There's definitely a happy medium to hit, given how late your opponent dies. But it's pretty uncomfortable to watch someone play scared. You definitely don't want to see the just utter lack of confidence represented in their play like that. Don't like to watch that, but... Anywho, we are off. Slimo definitely being able to put out a pace to pressure Ocre. But some pretty questionable decisions on Slimo's end. Just all throughout this tournament so far. Could cost them once more. Because it has cost them in the past. But seems like taking an early hit on Slimo's end, I don't like that. This half a heart charm. Oh, and we have a Gi pickup for Ocre. Ocre, someone who definitely is confident and can run the Gi. We've seen them take 1-1 Gi multiple times, which was a bounty, which I believe Ocre is the one who have been able to claim the 1-1 Gi and then win a race with it bounty. But this isn't 1-1, and the bounty isn't really on the table anymore. We have a very late throw chance from Slimo here, and it will be bad luck. As Ocre continues on forward, rocking this Gi with confidence. Oh, the bat having a bit of a problem. Causing Ocre a bit of a problem, but managing to re-rail King Konga perfectly fine. The last move you want to do before taking out the Konga lines is up, because that way the ghosts won't aggro you. If you move left or if you move right, one of the ghosts will eventually catch up to you, and if you move down, they will both chase after you, as Ocre checks purple. Very interesting check for a bomb spell. Unless I'm wrong, because I looked away for a second. As Slimo manages to pick up a Obsidian Broadsword. Seems to play these broadswords pretty well. Despite Broadsword not being the best weapon, also plays Flail and Warhammer pretty well, compared to the more speedy weapons. And definitely keep pace with some racers with better weapons, given these snagger weapons. However, of course, better weapons will probably just eventually win out anyways. Nonetheless, Ocre still rocking this Gi. Rocking it with confidence, which is really what you have to do if you're gonna take it. But getting bomb trapped and then fair and balanced coming in. Fair and balanced. What in the world? It's going to get wiped out in one hit with that bomb. So Slimo not in the most comfortable spots either, only having his own lead. Early death from Ocre. Ocre is definitely someone who plays fast enough and is good enough at seed rerunning to still be a threat with this early of a death if you aren't careful. Slimo now reaching the point where Ocre was at earlier. The fair and balanced coming into play. Fair and balanced. What? Ryan. SMH. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. But an enchant weapon for Slimo could find a good base weapon to try to enchant here. Slimo on to zone 3 with just one heart. Not that much of a build to work with either. Ocre running hot. Taking out King Konga. Zone 1 seems to have taken quite a bit for Ocre. Not being able to find much out of it either. Slimo has an abundance of money to work with. Can pick up Crown of Thorns, which came into place really hard in the previous seed. But will not take the Titanium Harp, which is perfectly fine. Slimo is not someone who seems to be able to play with Harp, which Harp can be a very good weapon in the right hands. Just like... it's just Slimo who isn't able to use it to its fullest potential, it seems. As we have 3 riders coming out, this broadsword will put in work. Dishing out damage to the swarm and keeping it very much under control. Harp would do the same thing, but nonetheless, this is definitely a comfort thing on Slimo's end. It's perfectly fine to keep this broadsword, of course. It's not a bad choice, actually. And just a free Ring of Peace for Slimo, it's looking pretty good. A compass and throwing stars pick up. Can't eat the carrot right away. And keep throwing stars as Slimo jumps down this trap door. Ocre, meanwhile, on 2-3. Lagging about a zone behind. So Slimo pretty much keeping pace, but zone 3 will probably go by in a breeze for Ocre if Ocre was paying attention to this mapping. As zone 3 is pretty short for the seed. And in black will be a glass harp. Slimo will just continue on. Using those stars to deal with Coral Rift decently quickly. But Ocre, as I said, tearing through this zone 3. Has an excellent weapon. I didn't see where Ocre picked that up, but I have a feeling Slimo will need to get going. Even with this zone of a lead, there isn't that much place for complacency. There isn't that much time for complacency, I should say. As Slimo. As I said, I have no clue why Slimo opts to go vertically first and then horizontally. Generally, it is way safer to go horizontally first and then vertically, unless you have something like a fireball spell, or fireball tomes, or fireball scroll. Just fireball anything. Because otherwise you're gonna have to struggle a bit harder with the red dragon plus fireballs, but that actually won't matter because Slimo has peace. So it really doesn't matter which way you want to go here, actually. So actually way smarter than me. 300 IQ, big brain. But I don't know, Slimo did go vertically first earlier without peace. So I don't know. But on weapon parity and ring parity for both of these racers, Slimo finding that titanium rapier from a different source in the 4-2 shop. Bit of a wayward dealing with that nightmare there for Slimo, but... And an excellent Pixie, taking a hit while also healing from the Pixie. Won't lose any health at all from that transaction. That is a play to make. And we have some missed beats on Slimo's end, not sure what that is about. Won't get the flawless, but likely won't want to check chests anyway, so... Won't be devastating at all. Slimo can take this trapdoor if he wants to. It's a bit dangerous, but the health should come back right away, even if you take a hit out of the Deviled Egg. But handling it, fine. Ring of Peace, making this markedly safer. In the trapdoor room. Not having a disgusting dragon. It will always be a green dragon when you have peace, so... Very comfortable fight. And lining up the lunge for Slimo, taking out the Mintar in one hit. Ocre, meanwhile, on the run back, 4-3. Suffering an early death, as Slimo is just in 5-2 with 7 bombs. Ocre has 4 nades. If Slimo lures, then that could be a problem. Slimo might not know any of the other Dead Ringer strats, but he probably does, and is lying to me, and that's a joke or something, I don't know. Because we have seen him do Dead Ringer strats. Unless he literally just learned them, but he needs to pull them out here. Lures are definitely not right now. Time and a place for lures. There's a lot of time and a lot of places for lures, but right now is not one of them. Slimo, are you kidding me? Just do Oblivion. Or do you have 7 bombs, do Japanese. This should be more than enough of a lead for Slimo though, but... And... Ocre going down. So... Lure's turning out to be the right choice. But really, if your opponent is this close and you can't... Yeah, if your opponent is this close... Please don't do lures. Ocre is someone who could just steal that victory away from you with some excellent Necrodance lures, and also doing an actual fast Dead Ringer strat, but nonetheless, can't argue too hard with the results. If you aren't comfortable with it, it's gonna go off the rails and you can easily die. But we finish with a race room time of 11:25. Slimo taking the win over Ocre. Pretty solid win, especially after losing to Ribbon Graph. I believe Ocre Ribbon Graph went toward the way of Ocre if that match happened, unless I'm making something up. Yes, Ocre beat Ribbon Graph 3-0, but Ribbon Graph was able to beat Slimo 2-1, unless the contest goes the other way. And yet Slimo here beating Ocre 2-1, so there's a circle there. Triangle, I should say.